Welcome to ClarityGrit, where we break down the psychology of growth, confidence, and self-respect. You think you're growing, you're reading more, working more, and pushing harder. But what if some of your growth habits are actually draining your mind? What if you're not becoming stronger, just more tired, more anxious, and more disconnected from who you really are? See, real growth doesn't always feel like progress. Sometimes it looks like stillness. Occasionally it means slowing down instead of speeding up. But in today's world, we've confused constant motion with improvement. And that confusion is quietly burning out millions of people who think they're on the right path. Let's break it down. Because chances are, you're doing a few of these habits thinking they're helping you. But in truth, they're draining your mind every single day. The first habit, consuming more instead of thinking more. You tell yourself you're learning. You listen to podcasts, scroll through motivational reels, and read endless self-help posts. You feel productive, but what you're really doing is flooding your brain. The truth is, there's a difference between learning and collecting information. Learning transforms you. Collecting distracts you. When you take in more content than you can actually process, your mind becomes cluttered. You don't have time to reflect, to think deeply, or to apply anything. It's like pouring water into an already full glass. It overflows, but you still stay thirsty. Real growth doesn't come from what you consume. It comes from what you absorb, apply, and reflect on. Try this. After watching a video or reading a book, stop and ask yourself, what's one idea from this that I can use today? Just one, not 10. That's how knowledge turns into growth. The second habit, always staying busy to avoid silence. We've been trained to believe that being busy equals being valuable. If your schedule's full, you must be doing something right. But here's the twist. Sometimes being busy is just another way to run from your thoughts. You wake up, check your phone, work all day, and fill the silence with music, messages, or noise. You never stop, because when you do, the quiet gets uncomfortable. But that silence, that's where self-awareness lives. That's where you start to hear what your mind's been trying to tell you. Busyness can be a mask for avoidance. You tell yourself you're growing, but you're just distracting yourself from reflection. The strongest minds aren't the ones constantly moving, they're the ones that can sit still and face the truth. If you want mental strength, stop treating silence like an enemy. It's not empty. It's where clarity grows. The third habit, comparing your pace with everyone else's. You scroll through social media and see people your age doing better. You start to question your progress. So you push harder, force milestones, and lose sight of your own timeline. That's how your mind starts to decay, not from lack of effort, but from constant self-judgment. You're measuring growth by someone else's story, not your own. Here's the thing, growth is not a race. It's rhythm. You have seasons. Some days you move fast, some days you heal. Both are valid. Comparison steals your gratitude, your peace, and your energy. It turns growth into pressure. Try looking at your progress the way you'd look at a friend's. You'd be patient with them, right? You'd encourage them. Give yourself the same grace. The fourth habit, never resting because you think rest equals weakness. We glorify grind culture. We admire people who say, I only sleep 4 hours a night. But what's the point of reaching success if your mind is broken getting there? Rest is not laziness. Rest is recovery. It's where your mind organizes everything you've learned. When you push without pause, you start operating on empty, reactive, tired, and disconnected. You can't grow when your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight mode. You can't think clearly when your mind never shuts down. The people who achieve real, lasting growth understand that rest is part of the work. So next time you feel guilty for taking a break, remind yourself, discipline isn't just doing more, it's knowing when to stop. Here's the truth. Growth isn't about doing everything. It's about doing what matters deeply, consciously, and consistently. You don't grow by stuffing your brain with information, keeping yourself endlessly busy, comparing your timeline, or destroying your rest. You grow by creating space for clarity. You grow by reflecting on what truly moves you forward, not what looks productive on the outside. So, if you feel mentally drained, it's not because you're failing. It's because you've mistaken exhaustion for progress. Pull back, reflect, simplify. Your mind is your greatest asset. Don't drain it trying to prove you're improving. This is ClarityGrit. Stay strong, stay clear, and keep growing.